Early Jurassic Antarctica. A subadult Cryolophosaurus ellioti is alone. At about 6 meters long, it faces its first winter of independence. Months of darkness have begun. The familiar energy of sun-driven days fades, replaced by long, cold nights. Prey is harder to find. Movement is cautious. Food is scarce. What comes next is uncertain. Each day brings another test for survival. Hunger, exposure, and possible encounters with rivals or competitors all loom. Nothing in this ancient world is assured, not even for a dinosaur this size. Moving across open ground, the Cryolophosaurus keeps its head low, tail out straight, body balanced and slightly tense. The cold bites at its pebbly skin and skewed, flecked flanks. Faint light casts shadows under its belly and legs. Its stride is slow, measured, and controlled. The animal no longer moves with a herd, if it ever did. This subadult stands alone now, every decision more urgent. Independence brings freedom, but also danger from hunger and fatigue. Its head tilts left and right, scanning the ground for signs of food. The jaws are lined with sharp, serrated teeth. These are not tools for chewing plants. The teeth and jaws suit a carnivorous lifestyle, but what that means in this particular landscape is less obvious. No fresh evidence of prey lies before it. Each step is cautious, the animal moving between low thickets, turning from rocky patches to open sediment. The back remains almost perfectly straight, from shoulders to the tip of the tail. Arms draw inward near the chest, 3 fingers curled, palms facing each other. Under better conditions, a large theropod like this might pursue smaller prey across the open plain, relying on speed and reach. Here, in the subdued light, the Cryolophosaurus shifts strategy. Without clear signs of moving animals, it begins to inspect the ground for other clues. A change in scent, a disturbance in sediment, a strange shape among the rocks, any could hint at an opportunity. Hunger changes priorities, and the search stretches into hours of methodical wandering. A patch of ground ahead holds a cluster of loose scales and a trampled patch, evidence of a recent animal, though not one visible now. The Cryolophosaurus lowers its head, nostrils seeking more subtle hints. Eye direction is forward, focus intense. Senses converge on this spot, but after only a moment, it moves again. The animal knows, through practice or instinct, that every effort must be measured. Wasted energy cannot be recovered in this part of the world. In deeper cover, the Cryolophosaurus pauses in the shadow of a rocky outcrop. From this more hidden vantage, its attention stays on a wider stretch of land. Here, the strategy changes, waiting instead of wandering. If prey arrives, the element of surprise may tilt fortunes. The dinosaur stands almost motionless, weight shifted from one foot to the other, tail swaying very slightly. Minutes pass. There is no sign of life. Small movements, a twitch at the crest, a gentle flexing of the claws, reveal barely restrained energy. The head crest itself, just a low rise along the skull, offers no color, only a gentle contour change. It confers no display advantage here, but a subtle change in outline can break the animal's shape against stony backgrounds. Eyes remain alert, mouth closed, nostrils flaring softly with each breath. Faint rustling from low vegetation pulls the animal's attention to the left. It turns without a sound, setting one foot carefully in front of the other, body low. But the source is only wind, the cold, gentle movement of air across dry leaves and stunted ferns. Nothing emerges. The waiting resumes. Hunger makes time few options. The animal sometimes shifts to more exposed ground, risking detection. Other carnivores may traverse this country, though no direct competitors stand in view today. The Cryolophosaurus's build is robust, but not unwieldy for its size. Moderately long hind limbs suggest active movement when needed, but every action is not deliberate. Cold encourages a tighter economy with energy. The animal lifts a forelimb, flexing the wrist and extending the middle finger. No food, it steps on. Farther along, a subtle irregularity in the ground hints at another opportunity. The Cryolophosaurus stops, eyes narrowing. The surface shows impressions, lines that curve and scatter, perhaps made by another animal passing recently. The dinosaur lowers its snout, nostrils inching close to the earth. It holds the pose, thinking, then shifts weight and examines the spot again. No obvious prey is present. Still, scavenging has become more attractive as live prey moves less often. Scavenging leaves a dinosaur vulnerable. Old carcasses may attract rivals or hide less obvious hazards. But necessity pushes decisions. One animal's loss may be another's chance. The subadult's claws, while strong, are not oversized. They can pry, scrape, and grip as needed, but only under the animal's direct guidance. No remains are found here, so the search continues, the dinosaur's tail rigid behind. Energy must be spent wisely, but the climate aids the animal in some ways. The clear, dry air inside open country helps scents linger, carrying faint chemical traces from great distances. The Cryolophosaurus lifts its head higher now, tasting the breeze. Nothing to follow. Its path crosses an open stretch dotted with low, splayed ferns. The ground is hard, footsteps leaving only shallow prints. Sudden movement at the edge of sight. A small reptile darts between sheltering rocks, perhaps itself foraging for insects or plant shoots. The subadult freezes, eyes locked, long neck flexed in a shallow S-shape, ready. For a moment, tension hangs in the air. The predator waits, then moves in a single quick stride. The prey disappears before contact. The chase ends quickly. Hunger remains unsatisfied, but the energy cost was not too great. The animal's jaws part slightly, exposing the robust serrated teeth. They are spaced for gripping and, with a single motion, could hold small prey securely. But on this winter day, success is fleeting. The animal stands still, then closes its mouth and lowers its head again, gaze neutral. Adaptations for this kind of life are plain. The horizontal alignment of back and tail distributes balance evenly, allowing for changes in direction and rapid weight shifts when needed. Larger, irregular scoots down the flanks and base of the tail offer some extra protection from physical impacts and the cold, though they do not form armor in the sense seen in other extinct reptiles. The overall effect is a body streamlined for movement, but anchored in stability. Sunlight, weak and angled, gives the dinosaur's brown-gray coloring a near-metallic sheen across the scales and scutes. Subtler changes in color along the throat, belly, and flanks provide some camouflage on these plains as the animal merges visually with rocks and low ground cover. Through a low shrub, the Cryolophosaurus moves slowly, checking with each step for scent or sound. The animal sometimes pauses to rest, sitting back on its haunches only briefly before rising again, as if driven by a restlessness born of hunger. Once, it brushes its right shoulder against a stunted plant, revealing a slightly darker patch of scales, a familiar marker for this individual. The tail stays off the ground throughout, tip never dragging, confirming an anatomy well-tuned for efficient motion. The hours extend, hunger growing. The dinosaur's stamina is tested by the rhythm of failed searches and fruitless chases. Each decision reflects a compromise: burn more energy-seeking food, or conserve what little remains, risking further weakness. A faint scent draws attention once more. Something dead, impossible to tell how old, lies beyond a line of rocks. The dinosaur raises its head, eyes fixed. The decision to approach is not made lightly. Every scavenging chance holds risk. The animal steps forward, posture alert, scanning for signs of another dinosaur or the presence of smaller scavengers. No one appears. Satisfied, the subadult lowers its snout, carefully testing the edge of the find. Even here, caution is the guiding rule. The jaws open gently, teeth probing rather than biting with force. The animal may have only a few minutes before bolder, hungrier competitors arrive. It works quickly, alternating between short pulls and longer scrapes. Food is finally present. Enough for now. The signs of the season remain all around: muted sunlight, short shadows, and no calls of other large animals. For this Cryolophosaurus, the day's work never truly ends. There is always a calculation, whether to keep watching, start moving again, or remain at what remains of a lucky find. Even rest is brief, taken standing or sitting only for a few breaths. Injury, exhaustion, and scarcity are constant companions. The chance encounter with a carcass may mean survival for another day. The animal's flanks tighten as it stands to scan the ground anew, mouth and snout now marked faintly with dust from the meal. No sign of serious injury mars its movements, though subtle marks in the soft triangular dark patch at the right shoulder hint at the minor struggles of past encounters. The lower sun means another shift in strategy. Scent cues weaken. The animal grows more cautious about moving through exposed ground. Night brings further risk, colder temperatures, less information about what moves nearby, and increased likelihood of a dangerous meeting with another carnivore. The animal moves to the edge of a rocky rise, finding a sheltering spot for a short rest. For a subadult of this size, survival is always uncertain. Full-grown rivals may roam these plains, their territory marked by scent or physical presence. The solitary nature of this creature, whether a product of age or environment, forces decisions that shape its fate one step at a time. Each motion, stalking, pausing, or scavenging, reflects a compromise between risk and reward. No direct evidence links this animal to others, and there is no guarantee of future encounters, friendly or otherwise. No sign of nest or family remains in the current landscape. The animal's routine, moving, scanning, scavenging, reveals a solitary pattern defined by need. As the sun dips even lower, the world cools further. The Cryolophosaurus stands once again, shifting its weight and scanning for the last opportunities before darkness deepens. Muscles flex along the thighs, hinting at power still held in reserve. The tail adjusts minutely, maintaining balance. There is never true rest, only brief pauses before hunger and the need for vigilance drive the animal onward. Each day in this ancient Antarctic land carries its own struggle. Months may pass like this, alternating periods of movement, waiting, failure, and the occasional small success. For every animal, the outcome of these trials remains unknown until the end. Survival is never guaranteed. The Cryolophosaurus, alone and uncertain, continues forward, searching, waiting, and meeting whatever the next moment brings.